You didn't miss the signals because you weren't paying attention. You missed them because nobody taught you the language. I'm Em, a dog mom, former vet tech, and dog trainer who has been carrying a story about a dog for 15 years and who works with dog parents who are trying to understand what their dog is asking for before things go wrong. I want to tell you something I rarely say directly. I don't take severe bite or aggression cases, not because I'm not equipped, not because I don't understand aggression or the behavior behind it, but because I have a history with this that is personal enough and painful enough that I made a decision a long time ago that it wasn't an area I was going to work in professionally. That history is a dog named Izzy. Izzy started attacking my other dog, Fiona, when she was about 2. I tried everything. Multiple trainers, a specialist who trained police dogs and could give her a job. Every approach I could find. And nothing worked. It kept escalating. And my professional read at the time, which I still believe is correct, was that Izzy had idiopathic aggression, something neurological, not behavioral, not fixable with training. But I couldn't make the decision I believed was right. So we managed, crate and rotate, for years. 3 months after my brain surgery, still recovering, still healing, still not supposed to be under significant stress, my ex-husband was out of town. My stepdaughter and I had a miscommunication, and the dogs got into a fight. Fiona needed emergency surgery at 10 p.m. I called my old vet boss and got her in immediately. And then I had to make a decision about Izzy, a decision I had been trying to make for years and hadn't been allowed to. Behavioral euthanasia. I was so angry, so overwhelmed, and so exhausted that I couldn't stay with Izzy. I dropped her off and I left. And I have carried that with me for 15 years, that she didn't have me there with her, that in the hardest moment of her life, I wasn't present because I had nothing left. I'm telling you this because I think there are people who have been in this situation. Maybe not this exact one, but something in the same family, where a dog communicated something for a long time and it wasn't heard until something major happened. And the shame of that is enormous. The what ifs, the I should have known, the if I had only caught it earlier. What I want to say to you directly is this. Most bite incidents, most escalations, happen at the end of a long chain of communication that was happening in a language the people around the dog hadn't been taught to read. That doesn't make the incident okay. It doesn't erase what happened, but it changes what it means about you. You weren't ignoring your dog. You were struggling with a language barrier. And those are not the same thing. The thing I still can't resolve isn't the decision. It's that I was so depleted and so angry that I couldn't give her that one thing by being there for her. And I've learned to live with that, but I haven't stopped feeling it. There were signals. There were almost always signals. Looking away, moving away, stiffening, yawning at the wrong time, lip licking in certain contexts. A dog who is telling you something in a language that looks like nothing if you don't know what you're looking for. And when the incident happens, whatever it is, you go back and look for the signals. And sometimes you find them. And that's its own kind of painful because now you can see them clearly. But they were there and you couldn't see them then. And even understanding all of that, even knowing the language now, doesn't fully close the loop. Because knowing what the signals meant doesn't change what happened. It changes what you do with it. And sitting in that gap between what you know now and what you knew then, that's where most people stay stuck. Stuck between the incident and the understanding, unable to fully move because the understanding came too late to matter for that dog. The answer isn't to keep looking backward. It's to learn the language now so that the next hard moment, whatever it is, has a different outcome. Not because you'll catch everything, but because you'll catch more. And the ones you catch won't have to escalate. The signals were always there, but the difference is now you have the language to understand them. That changes what comes next, even if it can't change what already happened. But I also want to be honest about something that's harder to say. Sometimes the signals being there and you having the language isn't enough. Sometimes a dog's nervous system is working in a way that isn't fixable with training. And knowing the difference between a dog who is communicating distress that can be addressed and a dog whose behavior comes from something deeper, that's one of the hardest assessments there is. And it requires honesty. about what you're actually seeing, about what's actually workable, about what this dog needs and what your life can actually provide. That's not a decision I can make for you, but it's one that deserves a real answer instead of just hope. The sitting in uncertainty of which one this is, that's where it gets the hardest because you want it to be fixable. You want the language to be enough. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. And you can't always know which one you're in until you've been in it long enough to see. What I know from Izzy, from every client I've worked with who came to me after something happened, is that understanding this communication doesn't undo the incident, but it changes what the incident means, and it changes what you can do with it from here. Here's the question I want to leave you with. If you could see what your dog was trying to tell you before things escalated, what would you start doing differently now? Something terrible happened. You've been carrying it. Whatever it is, the guilt, the what ifs, the I should have knowns, you can put some of that down now. Not all of it, but some. You didn't have the language then, but you're learning it now, and that matters. And if you're sitting there thinking, I want to understand what my dog is saying before we get to a crisis moment, the Dog Body Language Secrets Quiz is linked in the episode description. So be kind, spread joy, and remember, a dog is asking for help long before the reaction. Learning their language will help you prevent the next incident.